Irving Berlin's White Christmas. After Berlin's wildly successful release of Holiday Inn, and the song that focused around it, White Christmas, Paramount realized that there was still money to be made with this movie franchise and pitched the idea of a sequel to Irving Berlin, Bing Crosby, and Fred Astaire. However, after reading the script, Astaire turned it down. So with Berlin and Crosby attached, it became a remake reboot of Holiday Inn, this time focusing around two World War II buddies and their general, who runs a ski lodge in Vermont. Although the movie was released almost 10 years after Victory in Europe Day, it's appropriate enough in this regard that the movie focuses around the World War II duo, due to the fact that during the actual war, the song became somewhat of an American anthem, if you will, for soldiers overseas who were dreaming of happier, simpler times back home. And that's right where the movie starts up, in Europe, 1944, as two war buddies are Bob Wallace and Phil Davis, played by Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye, putting on a show for their division on Christmas Eve that's moving up to the front lines in the morning. But for whatever reason, they make as much possible noise as they can for their farewell song for their retiring general. We'll follow the old man wherever he wants to go. It almost leads to the demise of the entire unit, including Wallace and Davis. Fortunately, however, Davis is there to save Wallace from a huge chunk of wall that comes crashing down to Earth after a bomb hits. That pretty much sets up the tone for the rest of the movie, as Wallace wants to show how much he appreciates Davis for saving his life. So much so that they end up becoming a song and dance duo and become big celebrities back home after the war. It's 10 years after the war. Wallace and Davis are still together, now producing live shows as well as scouting new talent, and this leads them to the Haynes sisters, Betty and Judy, that become their pairing partners throughout the movie. Originally, this sister act wasn't even supposed to be in the film. Crosby and Kaye were joking around on the set about something like that, and the director overheard it and thought it was a great idea, so he wrote it into the story. So Wallace and Davis saved them from a warrant for their arrest, and soon they're following them to their next stop on their small tour, a small ski lodge in Vermont that they will soon come to find out is owned and operated by their former Major General, Thomas Waverly. And if the set looks vaguely familiar, it's because it was the original set for Holiday Inn that was just remodeled for this film. Sentiment soon engulfs Wallace and Davis, and soon they are bringing their entire show to the ski lodge to draw in a crowd for their former general, who's currently lacking guests to his ski lodge due to a lack of snow. And they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart, even if it costs them an arm and a leg.
What's this going to set us back? Wow.
How much is wow?
It's right in between ouch and boing.
Wow.
In fact, the lodge was just what the two were looking for practicing. Or at least that's what they tell the general.
We decided it was ideal, didn't we, Phil?
That's right, Bob. Ideal. That's exactly the word we used, too. Ideal. We looked at this big ski lodge and we said, isn't it ideal? Absolutely ideal, didn't we?
Ideal.
Like Holiday Inn, Crosby sings White Christmas twice, at the beginning and at the end of the movie, marking the third of 3 films that Crosby sings the song in. Fun fact, after originally writing White Christmas for the movie Holiday Inn, Berlin went on to tell his transcriber at the time that the song is not only the best song I've ever written, but the best song anyone has ever written. Coming from the man that wrote God Bless America, that's saying a lot. While setting up their show, Wallace and Davis find out that their general has applied for re-enlistment in the army, but gets a letter back from Washington saying, "Funny stuff, General," more or less, making the general quite depressed and setting the tone for the remainder of the film. I don't want to get much more into the movie as it would spoil it for a younger audience, although I highly recommend viewing Holiday Inn over White Christmas if you decide just to watch one this year, because it seems like this one is more forced on the audience, but then again, it is a remake.